I remember when I first started writing songs, I was 14. I was writing poetry before that from a very young age. I liked rhymes and I liked to express my emotions. It was called I Don't Want You, and I was 14, and of course it was about a girl that I wanted desperately, so of course I was saying I don't want you, bravado. And as I recall, it didn't work. I taught myself to sing, listening to Beatles and Stones and Elton John and all that. When I went to college, I was thinking first to be a forest ranger, actually, because I was very drawn to nature. And I was offered a position to go into the forestry service. I drove a delivery car for a drugstore for many years. Very sweet owner of the store who let me sit in the back when there weren't things to drive out and just to play on my guitar and write songs. So I wrote a lot of songs in the back of that shop. I first came to Denmark because I met a Danish songwriter in Ireland in September of '96, and I followed her home. We fell in love and figured out it would be easier for me to come here than for her to come over to me. The listening room can be a room inside yourself where you sort of to withdraw or to go in and stillness, meditation, reflection. Currently it's the weekly listening room open stage in Copenhagen, which is largely run by volunteers now, which is wonderful. They call themselves the listening roomies, which I think is just so sweet, And then there's the Listening Room International Songwriter Retreats, which is a long mouthful to say, but those have been going for 13 years in 9 countries so far, and adding Estonia next year. And those are gatherings of songwriters, of up to 20 songwriters for a week, who are writing together every day and in a very focused listening room environment. I think open stages are an important ground for a lot of songwriters. I don't know what each person gets, but what I got from it and what others have told me is they've received a very intense connection. And as a songwriter, I still use the open stage with my new songs because I'm in love with every song I write when I'm writing. It's deep infatuation. For me to get in front of a group of writers and listeners who are not writers and feel whether they're getting the song or not is a really important part of my writing process. That's very risky to follow your heart and do your works of art. I think it's much more risky not to.
It's been so long since I wrote a true love song. Felt my heart beating strong as it does for you.
So Works of Heart led to the listening room and led to the listening room retreats, led to the open stage concert series. And for me, there was this What's Next. The festival was an idea that I had for many years in California, but it just wasn't the right time. And I just decided one night, I'm going to do it. And so I Googled Copenhagen Songwriters Festival, and it was available. I was great. I bought the .coms, right away. Almost 10 years of presentations in Denmark and saying, we don't have any money, but we've got a stage, and do you want to do this? And a lot of people said yes. So there were around 50 artists. And now, this was the 6th year we just had, over 150 artists, over 250 musicians. My energy wants to free up to what's next. And the questions are, what's next? There's a few ideas on the burner. A similar festival in the States. I haven't given up the dream of having one in California, but my daughter needs to be a little older so she can travel with me. And there's a book coming, but it's been coming a long time, so who knows when the time is right. I wrote a song called Lullaby in 2006. I didn't have any children at that time, and then years later, here's my daughter and I get to sing it for her, and it became one of her favorite songs. And so, not that long ago, she sang it to me. She is the love of my life, there's no question. I searched for that ideal for many years. The number one fear, at least in America, I love surveys and statistics and all that, the number one fear is death. The number 2 fear is public speaking, because people think they're going to die. Okay, yeah, I'm nervous. But what is nervousness? It's thoughts and adrenaline. But what is adrenaline? That's energy. Oh, I have a lot of extra energy. Okay, see, I can start thinking about all the extra energy I have. Advice: I never drink any caffeinated drink before at least 30 minutes before the show, because if you're nervous, it usually shows up in the fingers, and if you're going to do finger picking and you get the shakes, you can be in trouble. A lot of my songs are about relationships, so clearly that's been an inspiration. I don't believe in one person telling other people this is how it is, because I don't believe in truth with a capital T. They're all little T's. Scotland. There's something about the Scottish people that I resonate with. Edinburgh, that would be the city if it weren't Copenhagen. I just recently saw Kramer versus Kramer again, which is Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep in the 70s. Fantastic. First of all, incredible acting, powerful story. I'll tell you the film that scared the hell out of me as a kid. And that was The Wizard of Oz. That movie gave me nightmares. I still can't watch it. I don't think if you said, I mean, if I sat there with a friend that could hold their hand, maybe, but it just freaks me out. The flying monkeys. I'm usually reading 2 or 3 books at a time, and that's the case right now. So right now on my bookshelf and in process, I'm reading The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle book. The book called Feel Me, which is the 70s, came out in the early 70s. It's about the human potential movement. I found that someone was giving it away. I live in an apartment complex where people put out things that they're no longer using, and I see English books and I snap them up. The Hobbit. I stayed up at night with a flashlight reading. I wept when Gandalf fell into the pit. Oh my God, that was huge. That was huge. That was as big as Kramer versus Kramer. My favorite daily drink, because I certainly don't drink beer daily. I don't drink gin and tonics daily. Cafe latte. That's one a day. Is a minimum. I know what my intentions are, and I've learned to dream big and to work hard to make the dreams come true. Okay, I wanted to be the 5th Beatle. That didn't happen. And yes, I wanted to have a worldwide hit. And I mean, so it depends what age those dreams were. So I think I still have that 12-year-old inside me who wants to stand at Wembley Stadium and have the crowd singing my song. And maybe it could happen. Well, I dream of a partnership. Yeah. That feels real. I can feel it. Yeah.